Blessings, beloveds, sharing with you some excerpts from Esther Hicks, as well as Jay Shetty and Bob Proctor, on the idea of moving in vibration from where you are to where you want to be. Take a listen.
We're talking about what you've been putting into your vibrational reality. We're talking about the desires that you've been launching, even those that you can't articulate. We're talking about the coming together of those ideas and the formation of beautiful desires that you have the ability to become aware of. Now, if you haven't been listening to us for a while, that's just fine. In fact, you're probably better off. Because it will be easier for you to hear what we're saying to you here today. Because we've been talking for years to many of you about how you can close that gap between what you believe and what you desire. But today, we would like you to recognize that desire, when you think of it, do you know what a fresh desire feels like? One that just hatches? Is a desire that just hatches, how good it feels before you face reality and kill it? And so what we want you to do is figure out how to enjoy the fresh breath of air that new desire is giving to you, and resist the temptation to face reality just for a little while. Lean in the direction of optimism rather than leaning in the direction of pessimism. Let yourself think thoughts that feel better to you. And so, you were source energy before you came into this physical body. Do you know that? Some of you know that, but many of you don't know that. But many of you want to believe that you were, but we want you to know that you were. You were source energy before you came into this physical body. But not only were you source energy before you came into this physical body, the larger part of you still is source energy while you are here in this physical body. And there is a constant vibrational relationship between what you sometimes call your source or soul. We call it your inner being or your source or your soul. Doesn't matter what we call it. There is a non-physical part of you that is vibrational in nature, that is really the dominant part of you. It's the part of you who has become the culmination of all of the desires that your life has carved out for you. Not just this life, but all that you have lived. You stand in this vibrational reality. We started to call it the vortex. We wanted to make it feel real to you. You stand in this vibrational reality as the culmination of all that you have lived. You have prosperity beyond our ability to describe, clarity, wisdom. You are liquid love. You are pure positive energy, and life is meant to be good for you. But then you were born into this physical body, and here you stand in this body, sometimes having pinched yourself off. Say it better. Sometimes right now pinching yourself off, because everything is happening now. Sometimes you are pinching yourself off from the wholeness that is you. And you know how you know that you're doing that? You feel rotten while you're doing it. That's what pessimism is. That's what anger is. That's what defensiveness is, or frustration. That's what all those emotions that you describe as negative emotions are about. It's an indicator that there's a part of you that feels so good about whatever it is that you're focused upon. But when you feel negative emotion, it means you are focused in abject resistance or difference or opposition to the way the source within you feels and what the source within you knows about that. So now we've talked to you about vibration, and we know if we were sitting in your physical shoes, we might not be so eager to hear about vibration, because you really don't need to know so much about vibration. Vibration is something that you can't see. It's something that you can sense. You're translating vibration all the time. That's why you can smell. That's why you taste. You're translating vibration. It's why you see and hear. It's what your fingertips are all about. You are translating vibration. And your solar plexus translate vibration into your emotions. And your emotions let you know. They are for one purpose and one purpose only. They are to let you know whether in this moment when you are feeling this emotion, whether you are allowing yourself to be an extension of who you really are, so you're flowing with who you really are, or whether you've pinched yourself off from that and you are temporarily, sort of by your own choice, usually not meaning to do it, but by default, by your own choice, holding yourself out raw and ragged, not connected in the way that you could be to this replenishing, revitalizing, always being offered to you source energy. So, step 1, you ask. Step 2, source answer. Step 3, you find a way to be a vibrational match to what you're asking for. You talk about it in ways that help you believe it. And then step 4 is simply mastery of that. Step 4 is getting so good at caring about the way you feel that in the early subtle stages of negative emotion, you change the thought when it's possible. You don't wait until it's a big boulder rolling down a mountain and then be at the bottom and try to, wait, I want you to stop. It won't stop then. It will run you over. And then step 5. Step 5 is our favorite step. Step 5 is you no longer being mad at yourself when you're back in step 1. Because step 1 is the sifting and the sorting and the giving the birth to the beginning of all desires. It's such a perfect system. You knew it when you came. And many of you are understanding it now. Life is supposed to feel really good to you.
Sustained level of enthusiasm in this journey that actually requires quite a lot of profound internal work.
I think you said the right word there, in enthusiasm. I think people are looking for excitement.
Yeah, very well said.
And there's quite a big difference.
Absolutely.
I've always pointed out, when you see a person that gets excited when something good happens, you're going to see somebody who gets depressed when something bad happens. And there's a great lesson in that. But rather than getting excited, we should get enthused. We want to look where enthusiasm comes from. It comes from in theos, which is in spirit. And everything just is. And if we can look at it, it just is. It's neither good nor bad. It just is. We're not going to get excited. We'll get enthused. And if we look at the negative, it just is. It's not going to depress us because it just is. So I think the trick there is to understand the difference between enthusiasm and excitement. And how do you maintain the enthusiasm? I think the only way to maintain it is to continually study who you are. Never stop studying. And now, I don't think you just sit and study, do nothing else. You have to study, understand, and you have to apply it. So it all comes out in results. Now, I have found a great way to measure results is in money. You can measure it to the penny. People say happiness or health. You can't measure a person's happiness, and you cannot measure their health. You can go and you can have a checkup, and they'll say, guy's in perfect health. He walks out of the doctor's office, a bang, he drops dead. He wasn't in perfect health at all. It appeared he was. But in earning money, you provide service. But you got to control the money. You don't let the money control you. And then if you fall in love with the idea of providing service and it's in a profit-making way, you can earn a lot of money. Well, then you can put that money to work to do great things with. And that's sort of the path I'm on. And like my partner and I, we build schools over in Africa. And we do them through Cynthia Kersey out there in Los Angeles. She's the Unstoppable Foundation. And we take a lot of joy in that. We have people from the company go over and see the work that we're doing, that they're contributing to. So I think you've got to keep checking your results, and you have to keep raising your own level of awareness. And the only way to do that is to continually study. But control your life. Don't let life control you. So you're living from the inside out, which sounds very esoteric or philosophical, but it's the only way I can explain it, because that's really what you're doing.
See, when you talk about money, and even when I learned with the monks, where we really understood the value of money, you see it as an energy source of service. You see
exactly
it as
what it is.
Yeah, exactly. You see it as an energy source of service, of helping, of giving, of providing. Tell us about that mental shift that's made.
Attraction it's a secondary law. It isn't a primary law. The primary law is the law of vibration.
Hoping you enjoyed those clips. Write in the comments below. My question for you is, what do you do to shift your subconscious mind into visioning for your future